And among all these things, the major or a very important thing is TCP/IP addressing. So IP address are a method used to identify computers processed at the network layer of the OSI model, most common in use to use for the, used with the IP protocol. Actually, this IP protocol comes in two versions. That is IP protocol version 4 and IP protocol version 6. So you may surprise that what about the version 5, 2, 3 and all. Basically, those are experimental one. They are not released in the public domain. So in the public domain, only IPv4 and IPv6 are there. In IPv4, 3 bits address divided into 4 groups called as octets. Each octet consisting of consisting of 8 bits. So actually here it's a mistake I have written uh, in the slide. It is 32-bit address. Actually, the IPv4 addressing is of 32-bit address. So this 32-bit address is divided into 4 octets. Okay, each octet consisting of 8 bits. So octet in the sense 8 bits. So each octet consisting of 8 bits of data. So in binary, an IP address looks like in a binary form. It will be looking like this. So 8 bits dot 8 bits dot 8 bits dot and 8 bits. So if you convert this binary into the decimal form, so 1 followed by 7 zeros, which will be 192, then 0010011 is 168, like that. So you will convert into the binary, you will convert into the decimal notation. So whenever you transmit any IP address or whatever the packet you transmit, the data will be transmitted in the binary form only in computer networks. So that binary representation understanding is required for us to know how this particular IP address will be transmitted from source to destination. So IP address components are like this. Network identifier. What is the network? To which network this packet has to be transmitted, and host address. So it is just like a locality and house number, just like that. It will be having two parts: network address, network identifier, shared among computers in a network segment; host address, which is unique to each computer on the network segment. Subnet mask is one used to identify which part of IP address is the network identifier and which is the host identifier. So whenever you write any IP address, how computer will know that what is the network identifier and what is the host identifier? That will be determined with the help of subnet mask. So IP address along with subnet mask only can receive the corresponding packet which is intended for the receiver. Attackers can gain access to a network by determining the IP addresses of the computer, because they can guess of over a certain time they can sniff or eavesdrop the packets which is going on the communication channel, and they can figure out, okay, what is the IP address or what are the range of IP addresses to which this transmission is going on. So IP addresses need to be uh, IP addresses are should be very secure or should be tightly enclosed with some security parameters to prevent certain attacks. So for this it is it is very important to understand the basic functionality of the IPv4 and also IPv6. So I'm not mainly focusing on the IPv6. I will give you basic introduction about IPv6. But till today, many services are using IPv4. Basically, the IPv4 addressing, whenever you look at it, the number of computers that can be connected with the IPv4 addressing are limited, or we can say now, because of the advances in technology and computing and communication, There are many devices are coming which are making use of the IP services. So the maximum capacity of the IP address. So whenever you have 32-bit addressing, so 2 power 32-bit maximum number of possible devices that you can communicate or that you can allot a IP address. But if you look at 2 power 32 means that many computers are already crossed across the world. So we require a higher level of addressing and at the same time a secure addressing. So that is the reason the researchers have moved on to the IPv6 where you will be having 128-bit addressing. So where in case of IPv4 you will be having only 32-bit addressing. So how to convert from the IPv4 to IPv6, IPv6 to IPv4, that is not the part of our syllabus and not part of our course. So I'm only focusing on the IPv4 and subnetting because this much is sufficient. This much is enough for us is must for us to learn to configure the firewall policies, VPN configuration, and writing the rules in the intrusion detection system. So IP address components are like network identifier and host identifier, and subnet mask will help us to figure out what is the network address and what is the host address. And one more thing is, if an attacker can find the PC's IP address, they can run a port scan to look what are the open ports to exploit. To hide the addresses, it is better to use the network address translation. Basically, the network address translation deals with converting the public address to the private address and private to public, vice versa. So translates the private networks to the internet address or internal address into external address that can be used on the public internet. It is just like an internet connectivity you are receiving to your home, and you want the whatever the internet connectivity you are receiving usually will be provided by the internet service providers. The internet service providers will give you a public address. So the public addresses will be having a particular numbers like 240.233.208. Like that. Usually public addresses cannot be used for the private purpose. So that private addresses are nothing but the addresses that you use at your home. So private address will be different from the public addresses. So whenever an ISP provider, that is internet service provider, has given you a public address, then how to convert into the private address? So this public address to the private address, and also for the communication from the private address to the public address will be done with the help of this network address translation, which is also called NAT. So this NAT will be, whenever you enable this NAT, automatically the public address will be converted into private, and that is public communication will be coming into the private. At the same time, if you want to send to any public domain from your private network, that is also possible. IP4 addresses. Now we'll see the addresses or address classes of the IPv4. The class is determined by the number of bits, number of its networks compared to the number of hosts. Example, a class A address uses 8 bits for the network portion and 24 bits for the host portion. So there are totally different classes of IP addresses that you can fix, like class A, class B, class C, class D, and class E. So class E cannot be used for real communication. It is only for the experimentation. And class D is also for the multicasting. Majorly, the class A, class B, and class C networks are popularly used. So if you look at in our university, we use class B network, that is 172 dot something dot something. So this is class B network. So class A network is also popularly used for the private network. At the same time, class C also. In class A, especially a particular series called 10 dot series, 10.0.0.1 or 10.2.0.1. So this series is especially used for the private networks. In class B, 172 series is popularly used, and in class B, 172 series is used, and in class C, 192 series is used. So these are the series that are used for the in the particular classes. So class A consisting of the first octet decimal ranges from 1 to 126 is the range that will be dedicated for the class A networks. So 127.x.x.x is reserved, which is to indicate the local host. So whenever you run a web application or web server or application server, and if you want to run the server or if you want to see the web page of the server through your browser, you may place it as http://127.0.0.1 colon 8080 or http:// localhost colon 8080. So which both are one and the same, which always represents the local host, that is local computer. So that is the reason 127.0.0.1 is always referred to the current system or local system. It is reserved. It cannot be used for the other services to run. And class A, the default subnet mask is 255.0.0.0.0. That means the first portion 255 is used for the network, and rest of the things are used for the host. So here 255 is for the network addressing, and remaining for the host addressing. So large corporate and governments will use this particular class A networking for their networking and assigning of the private IP addresses. In class B, next 64 digits. Here 127 digits or 128 digits. First 128 digits are dedicated to class A. Next is 64. For next to 64, that is from 128 to 191 are dedicated to the class B. Here the default subnet mask is 255 255. So this is used for the network and this is used for the host. And for the medium networks, we use this range. And in case of class C, next 32. So here 128, 64, and 32. So 192 to 223 will be used for the class C. And here the subnet mask will be 255, 255, 255, 0, which is especially used in the small networks. Class D is used for the especially public domain. There is no subnet mask for this. And class E is for the experimentation purpose. So among all these things, to set up a private network, if you are having around thousands of computers, thousands means you cannot count how many computers are there. The computers will always continuously grow. Then it is always recommended to use the class C network. And you are having a limited number of computers, maybe 1,000 or 1,500, maybe below that. Then either you may use class B or class C network. That is up to you. So this is the way you will use the class IP addresses and classes. So private IP addresses and ranges, if you look at here, in more detail, this slide will show you. Private addresses are needed so that organizations can build internal infrastructures. Public IP addresses require registration and a fee for each address, which is called public IP addresses. That is, the internet service providers, whenever they give you an IP address, they will give you the public IP address. Usually the public IP address is a paid one. You are supposed to purchase it. So that whenever this IP address is assigned, that is public IP address is assigned, with the same IP address, no other services will run. Only it is dedicated for that. So public IP addresses are very limited. Whenever you receive a public IP address, for example, our university it is taking the internet service from the BSNL. So BSNL may give you us maybe 10 or 15 public IP addresses. But the same public IP addresses is not sufficient to provide internet services to all computers and devices in the university campus. So what you are supposed to do is either you may use NAT service, or either you are supposed to convert into the local private addresses. So whenever you convert into private address, each device who are participating in the internet communication will be having an IP address. So this you may achieve via DHCP by configuring the local private addresses, or via accessing accessing the internet via proxy services. These are the two ways where you can get the internet service. So private addresses are needed so that organizations can build the internet infrastructure. So public IP addresses require registration fee for each address. Private addressing schemes eliminate the need to purchase the addresses for every group of machines. So thereby private IP address ranges will be fixed like this. As I told you, in class A, 10 series will be used. In class B, 172 series is used. In class C, 192 series is used. That is 192.16 series. Here 172.16 series. Okay. So if you look at in our university, especially, we use the class B network. Okay. So class C network, especially, you can see in the Wi-Fi routers and all, where you will use this 192 series, and your mobile phone also. Whenever you make a hotspot and you want to connect to any other thing, then you will use class C network, which is very small network. You look at here. Whenever you are working in a very small network, then you can use this 192 series. So whenever you use this networking, and the subnet mask will be used like this, and whenever a subnet mask is used like this, 10.0.0.0 and 255.0.0.0 is a subnet mask. Then the starting address of this network is 10.0.0.1. Okay, this is the starting address. Okay, this is the starting address. And what is the ending address? Because the first octet in the subnet mask related to the network, the remaining are all hosts. So what is the maximum possible number that you can have for these octets? Obviously 255, 255, 255. So the last valid host address is 10.255.255.254. Okay. You may ask me that you said that 255.255.255, but here it is only 254. Obviously, in any network, the first IP address is indicated with the is considered as the network identity. So here, if I say 10.0.0.0 subnet mask as 255.0.0.0, then the network ID is 10.0.0.0. Okay, and the broadcast ID is the last IP address, that is 10.255.255.255. It means I want to communicate. I want to communicate to all computers that are in the network range of 10.0.0.0 with subnet mask 255.0.0.0. Then if I send a communication to 10.255.255 address, that communication will go to all computers that are connected in this network range. Okay, that means from 10.0.0.1 to 10.255.255.254. What are the IP addresses that are connected in this range? To all these computers, my communication will go on. So that is the reason the first address is said to be the network address, and the last address is said to be the broadcast address. Only the middle addresses are used for the allotting to the computers. Okay. So whenever you use class A, the number of computers that you can use are very, very high. Okay. In case of class B, the number of computers that you can use is medium, because here look at subnet mask 255.240. So this is the network address and this is the host address. That means you can have the possibility of 255 and 255 here. Okay, you have only the combination of 255 and 255. So the number of computers that you can connect is medium. Where in case of class C, the number of connections that you can connect, the number of IP addresses that you can connect is small. So the subnetting especially used for to identify what is the network part and what is the host part. So whenever you look at here, if you look at class B subnetting, the class B subnetting means what is the subnet mask in the class B networks? 255.255.0.0. Okay. But whenever you make the subnetting like this in the class B networks, 255.128.0, then the number of subnet masks, subnets that you can use is 2. Okay, and the usable host per subnet is 32,766. Okay, next is whenever you use the subnet mask as 255.255.192.0, the number of subnets that you can create is 4, and number of usable hosts per each subnet is 16,384. So what is this number of subnetworks? Subnetworks in the sense, assume that we have a university with 10,000 computers. Okay, in this university you have 5 departments. So I want to create a subnet for each department. Then I need to use here among 10,000 computers. I want to create subnet of 5 departments and 1 admin department, which are totally 6 departments. I want to connect or I want to create a subnet. So 6 means which is greater than 4 and less than 8. So better you use this 8. So whenever you use 8, so obviously 255, 255, 224.0, you make a subnet mask like this, so that you can create totally 8 subnets. So one subnet can be assigned to computer science department, another may be assigned to the electronics department, another may be assigned to the electrical department. Like that you can assign. And each subnet can use at most 8,190 90 systems to assign these IP addresses. So obviously, among 10,000 computers, if I divide by 6, it will be less than the 8,190. So obviously, I can happily use the class B network with the subnet mask as 255, 255, 240, 224.0, and with this I can create 8 subnets, and I can assign a maximum of 8,190 IP addresses in per subnet. So this is the way the as the value of as the value in the third octet is increasing, the number of subnets will increase, supporting will be increased, and the number of hosts that can be supported in for every subnet will decrease. So if you look at in the entire class B subnet mask, the first 2 octets will be filled with 255, 255. Only the rest of the things will vary. Okay, whenever you are increasing the rest of the octets, so obviously whenever you are increasing the value in the rest of the octets, the number of subnets that can be made will increase, and the number of hosts that can be supported per subnet will decrease. So this is what we call subnetting concept that you can understand with this particular IPv4 subnetting. Where in case of class A, the first octet will be fixed for the subnet, that is 255 only. Whenever you vary these values, the number of subnets and number of hosts will vary. In case of class C, the first 3 octets are fixed, 255, 255 and 255 only. The last subnet will only the last subnet or sorry, last octet is the only one which will vary. So for example, subnetting a class C address example, network address is 199.1.10.0. Default subnet mask is 255, 255, 255.0, because first 3 octets will be fixed to the maximum value, and the last is the only one. So this will represent the host address, and this represents the first 3 octets represents the host address, network address, and last octet will represent the host address. Now, instead of this, I have selected the subnet mask as 224. Okay, subnet mask as 255, 255, 255. The last one value was changed to 224. That means the mask binary you convert into binary value. So here whenever you convert into binary value, then what is the last value is 111. Here 5 zeros, which is around 224. So the last mask digit occupies the binary value of 32. So the last value is 32 here. So the starting the network address increment by 32 until you reach the mask number 224. So the subnet address will be like this. What is the starting address? 199.1.10.0. So 199.1.10.0, the number of valid hosts are 32. Okay, here 32. Why it is 32? Because you have made as 224, you subtract it from 255. So whenever you subtract it from 255, so obviously you will get 32 as the value. That means 32 possibilities are there. So that is the reason the range will be like this. 192. Whenever you select the object like this, whenever you select the IP address like this, the IP address range will be like this: 199.1.10.1 to 199.1.10.30. Okay, this is one range, and the broadcast address is 10.31. And from 32 again up to 62. 63 is the broadcast address. From 64 up to 94. 95 is the broadcast address. 96 to 128. 127 is the broadcast address. Okay, like this, the range will grow up to 224. 224 to 254, and the broadcast address is 255. So for all these things, whenever you use this IP address, and if you use the IP address range, then this is the subnet address with the subnet mask as 255, 255, 255.224. Okay, so this is the way you can create the subnet addresses, and now this subnet address can be assigned to one department, and this subnet address can be assigned to one department, and the third one may be assigned to one department. In that, if you have 20 computers, you can assign the IP addresses from 199.1.10.65 to 199.1.10.94. You can assign any IP address in that in this range. You can assign the addresses like this, so that without having any difficulty, you can assign the IP addresses. If you assign the IP addresses like this, it is said to be static IP address assignment. But sometimes it is not sufficient, or you cannot manually feed IP addresses. So for that, we will use the DHCP, or Dynamic Host Connection Control Protocol, which will help us to assign the IP addresses automatically. To summarize the subnetting, basically subnetting is focused on the which portion of the host you are using, which portion of the IP address or which portion of the address you are using for the host representation and for the network representation. So in subnetting, borrows the bits from the host portion of IP address. Number of borrowed bits determines how many subnets and hosts are available. So we know that the IP address is of 32 bit, that is IPv4 address is of 32 bit, and in that 32 bit, because we cannot attach some new bits to that, and only thing is, within the available number of bits only, we should classify whether we should classify what is the network identity and what is the host identity. So for that purpose, we are going to use this subnetting task. So we have seen just now that class B subnetting, and how this class B subnetting will be divided based upon the number of subnets that we require and number of hosts that we have, and binary to decimal equivalent. That first is 128.64, because it is a 8-digit octet, or octet which consisting of 8 bits. So this octet is maximum value of the octet is 255. That means if the first bit is 1 and remaining bits are 0, then the corresponding value is 128. If first two bits are 1 and remaining bits are 0, then 128 plus 64. So what it could be? 192. Okay, like that, if all bits are 1, then it is equal to 255. So like that, we are going to represent. So based upon this number of zeros and ones, the subnet mask will be decided. For example, the network address 199.1.10.0, so the default subnet mask is 255.255.255.0. So that, what is the meaning of this? In the first octet, all are ones. In second octet, all are ones, and third octet all are 1. In the fourth octet, all are 0. That is the reason it is said to be 0. Where in case of selected mask, now I want to make a different subnet mask. So instead of 255, 255, 255, 0, I made it as 255, 255, 255, 224. That means how many bits I have made it as 0. Okay, how many bits I made it as 0. That means here if you look at 128 plus 64 plus 32, that will become 224. That means first three digits, first three bits are 0. So first three bits are 1. So whenever the first three bits are 1, then the corresponding value is 224. That means the remaining bits are 0. Okay, the remaining bits are 0. So how we will find how many IP addresses that you can allot per subnet that you create using 255, 255, 255.224. The answer is very simple. The answer can be done like this. Here, how many zeros are there? First of all, you are supposed to look at how many zeros are there here. 5 zeros are there. 2 power 5, which is equal to 32. That means you can create 32 IP addresses and allot to the computers per one subnet. Okay, per one subnet you can create maximum of 32 IP addresses, and for every IP range or for every subnet range, network range, whatever the IP addresses that you create, always the first IP address is, we have seen previously, first IP address is network ID, last IP address is the broadcast ID. Whatever the IP addresses that are available in middle only can be used for the allotment to the computers. Now, the last masked digit occupies the binary value of 32 because 5 zeros are there. That is 2 power 5, which is equal to 32. Starting with the network addresses, increment by 32 until you reach the mask number 224. So whenever you do this, that means 224 by 32. How much it is? 224 by 32 means almost you will get how many subnets? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So 8 subnets you will get. And we can also say easily here 3 ones are there, 2 power 3. So you will get 8 subnets. Okay. So how many ones are there? That many subnets you will get. How many zeros are there? 2 power that many zeros. That many IP addresses can be allotted to one subnet. So total number of subnets that you will get with this subnet mask is how many ones are there. Okay, that many ones to be powered with 2. That is 2 power that many ones. Okay, that many ones count. That will give you the number of subnets that you can get. And how many zeros are there? You power it with 2. That is 2 power that many number of zeros. Okay, zeros count. So which will give you 32. Here in our case, here it will give you 32. It will give you this particular calculation will give you the number of IP addresses that you can allot to the subnet. So with this subnet mask 224, okay, you can create 8 subnets, and for every subnet you can allot a maximum of 32 IP addresses. Assume that as we have seen previously, the first IP address is always the network IP. First IP address is always network IP. Last IP address in that range is always the broadcast IP. Okay, only the middle IP addresses can be used. So 31 is the broadcast. Once 31 is broadcast, then 32 is the network ID. 33 to 62 you can use, and then 63 will become broadcast. So like that you can create. Now assume that I have taken here instead of 3 ones, I have taken it as 2 ones. Okay, so if it is 2 ones means 128 plus 64. So 128 plus 64 is 192. Now what will become the selected subnet mask will become 255, 255, 255, 192. Okay. So whenever 192 is there, then how can you say that how many IP addresses that you can allocate? First of all, we should see how many subnets we can create maximum. Because it is two ones. Okay, whenever you convert into 192 into binary, it will be 1 1 followed by 6 zeros. That means 2 power 2. That means 4 subnets you can create. Okay, and here 0 0 0. But total 6 zeros are there. 2 power 6, which is equal to 64. So 4 subnets you can create. Each subnet can allot with a maximum of 64 IP addresses, in which first IP address is network ID, last IP address is for the broadcast ID. That means you can use a maximum of 64 minus 2, that is 62 IP addresses for allotting to the computers in that subnet. Okay, so this is the way you are supposed to perform the subnetting of IPv4 addressing. So this is what the subnetting example is. Now we'll see the variable length subnet masking. Variable length subnet masking actually will be helpful in large companies with large networks. Networks that do not have a large number of available IP addresses use variable length subnet masking. Involves applying masks, okay, of varying size to the same network. Creates subnets within the subnets, often used to secure the stub network once connected to any other network. So we can create subnets within the subnets with this variable length subnet masking. However, we are not concerned about this at present. We'll see. We are only dealing with general subnetting masking and in our entire our course. Next is classless interdomain routing. So is it necessary to write always the subnet mask? So because whenever you write an IP address, always you are supposed to mention the subnet mask for that. Otherwise, it's of no use. So it is a big problem for everyone to write a subnet mask every time, like 255, 255, 255, or 224. Instead, why can't you use this classless interdomain routing? The classless interdomain routing will be done like this. Whatever the class you use, either class A, class B, class C, whatever the IP address you use, but there is a specific way of mentioning of subnet mask, irrespective of the class IP you use. That is what we call classless interdomain routing. Specifies the number of masked bits in the IP address or subnet mask combination. Example: a network address of 192.168.6.0 with a subnet mask of 255, 255, 255, 224 would have a CIDR notation of 192.168.6.0 by 27. What is this by 27? So whenever you convert into 224 into binary, you look at first octet is 8 bits. All 8s are 1. So all octets are 1. Sorry. In this octet, all bits are 1. That is 8 bits are 1. Plus here also 8 bits are 1. Total 16 now. Here also total 8 bits are 1. Total 24 now. How many bits in the next octet are 1? 3 bits. 24 plus 3 is 27. So I can mention 199.1.10.0 by 27, which means that the subnet mask is this one. Okay, the subnet mask is 27 zeros followed by 27 ones followed by 5 zeros. So this is what the classless interdomain routing representation. CIDR overcomes the limitation of default subnet masks so that unused addresses do not go into waste. Next one is unicasting, multicasting, and broadcasting. Unicast transmission is nothing but one packet is sent from one server to each client computer individually. Where in case of multicast communication means server can treat several computers as a group and send one transmission that reaches to all of them. It is just like if I send a message to your group, then it is multicasting. Okay, but if I send a message personally to individual, okay, individual account, then it is said to be a unicast. Broadcast means I never consider the person or the group or something. Simply, I will post the communication. Everyone will receive it. So this is one called broadcast, sent to all nodes on a specific network, which is also called as flooding or directed broadcast. So these are the terminologies that will be used uh, in the communication, especially in the computer networks and communication. So this is what the overview of the IP addressing and subnetting.